The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, said on Friday that the country has 80,766 cubic meters of petrol, enough to last 9 days, and 217,570 cubic meters of diesel, sufficient for 22 days.
A frustrated matatu operator in Kisii town holding a bottle of petrol. It is the new norm among matatu operators in Kisii County, who have now been forced to carry extra jerrycans filled with the precious commodity just in case they don't get anywhere to refill for the return journey. Never mind the danger posed by having to carry fuel in a passenger vehicle. However, the operators who ply the Kisii to Eldoret and Kisii and Nairobi routes are not as lucky, as they have had to ground their fleet for lack of fuel.
Long winding queues running into the dead of the night are becoming increasingly common in petrol stations across the country as the fuel shortage threatens to spiral into a full-blown crisis. The Kenya Pipeline Company, KPC, the state entity charged with ensuring there is steady supply of fuel, on Saturday said the country has enough fuel stocks and that ships are waiting at the dock to offload more supplies.
KPC would like to confirm that there are ample stocks of petroleum products in our system throughout the country to meet demand, said KPC Managing Director. This begs the question, why have petrol stations run out of fuel? EPRA put the blame on the delays in the disbursement of the fuel subsidy cash by the Ministry of Petroleum and the National Treasury. Since October, the government has kept fuel prices stable by cutting the margins of all marketing companies, OMCs, despite increasing international prices by reimbursing them through the subsidy scheme. But in February, global crude oil prices shot up sharply following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, leading to oil supply shortages as Western countries imposed sanctions on Moscow, including a ban on its oil exporting their stock. Russia is the world's third-largest producer of crude oil. This led to a sharp increase in the cost of refined fuel imported into Kenya, forcing the government to increase the price of petrol and diesel by 5 shillings per litre on March 14. Despite the prices increase, the government maintained the margins of oil companies at zero, which means all the fuel they were selling did not generate any money for them. They have to wait for the government to reimburse them. But the government has been delaying for months to pay the oil firms, which has forced them to hoard fuel, fearing losses, leading to the current crisis. The nation understands that the oil firms are owed about 13 billion shillings by the state accrued over months of delays. Due to the cash crunch, some firms are now exporting their stock to Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, where they are guaranteed instant cash on sales. The export of fuel also had a ripple effect on independent petroleum dealers who buy their stock from the OMCs that get their share from KPC through the Open Tender System, OTS. This means that the small oil dealers, who form a vast network across the country, have no fuel to sell. They also lack the financial muscle to buy any fuel that becomes available due to delays in subsidy cash payment.
In Kisumu, motorists in the county are relying on this one petrol station to refill their tanks.
Sasa tuko tuna mafuta sheli peke yake. Na hapa sheli kisha inamaanisha tunarudisha mapipiki zetu kwa manyumba na tunakosa kazi nyingine ya kufanya.
In Rongai, Kajiado County, this petrol station was the only one dispensing fuel. They capped their sale at 1,000 shillings.
As it is, Rongai, it's only Ruby senye iko nayo. Niko tu pale nilikuwa.
This petrol station along Outer Ring Road, which sells more than 7,000 liters of fuel on a daily basis, has been out of business for 1 week after they ran out of stock. A number of staff members have been sent on leave until the situation stabilizes. The shortage continues despite a directive by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to all marketing companies to release petroleum supplies with a promise to settle pending claims amounting to over 32 billion shillings.
Hoarding the product. The situation has adversely affected the non-franchised, independent outlets while the franchised ones have witnessed spiked demand, said EPRA. The crisis has given oil firms the leverage to arm twist the government into granting their wishes, besides payment of the subsidies, before normal supply is restored. Petroleum Principal Secretary Andrew Kamau said oil firms want fuel prices reviewed fortnightly, not monthly. The firms want to use the 2-week cycle to pass on additional costs to consumers quickly whenever global crude oil prices rise. If the prices are reviewed every 2 weeks, The average price is more accurate during the shorter period and could eventually lead to price stability as opposed to the large increase in prices we are now seeing each month, a chief executive of an oil firm told The Nation. Mr. Kamal dismissed the demands, saying, "A 2-week pricing cycle is not feasible. We are not going to change the pricing cycle. The monthly cycle gives certainty about the prices," he said. EPRA has vowed to take action against oil firms that are hoarding the product. It's considering cutting the fuel allocation from the OTS to one of the top 3 OMCs accused of deliberately putting a quota on the fuel it sells locally despite having sufficient stocks. The firm has limited each customer to buying fuel of up to just 1,000 shillings despite being a significant player in the market with large oil stocks. It reportedly prefers to export its fuel for instant profits.